Hey everybody, here's a video on our formal report assignment. Couple things. First, I just want to start with formatting. When you write this report for a company, they'll give you all the formatting details as far as, oh, we use this font and these headers and this is the layout and where the page number goes. Obviously, so we can pick whatever we want. As long as it's readable, as long as it does have a formality to it. You don't want to use a cursive script for this report. In general, they'll be single-spaced and no indents, instead a space between the paragraphs. Otherwise, I give you freedom to pick the other parts of it as long as it's readable and formal. Content. Lots of options that you have to pick from, so whichever seems interesting to you. And then the sections, there's a lot of different sections, and my biggest comment is just that there is going to be repetition. So, some of us are going to feel like, oh my God, I'm just repeating myself over and over again. You're supposed to. The reality is that most readers are not going to read an entire report. They're only going to read the section that applies to them. So if I'm trying to decide if this is even a report I should read, I'm going to look at the abstract. If I'm an executive, I'm going to read the executive summary, which should have every piece of overview information that I would ever need to make a decision, basically. So you're kind of giving that broad overview, but make sure that conclusion is clear and starts early. The introduction, think of that as where you might normally be starting a report. So tell me, why are we writing this? And what's your overall conclusion? And what are the reasons? And how is this going to be organized? What do I need to pay attention to? What's it going to cover? What's it not going to cover? All of that good stuff. The one part of the formal report that I noticed gets a little bit slighted for students sometimes is the actual body of the report. This is not just another introduction. This is not just another summary. This should have detail. There should be visuals that help, tables, charts, all of that. We've got some lessons on that that we started and we're going to finish. We should be able to read. Real users should be able to read the body of the report. In other words, like if I'm doing the one about what kind of car we should buy, or all of those details, the actual accounting person who has to make the decision is the one that's going to read the big body of the report. Or if it's something that somebody has to do or change or understand, the actual end user, they're going to read that body of the report. So make sure it's detailed so they know what to do. Excuse me. Okay. And then the conclusion shouldn't be anything new. You're just wrapping it up, repeating the end, bullet points or list of conclusions, recommendations after the conclusion. The only reason for that section is just if I am somebody who's like, wait, what did they say again? I'm going to just go to that section so that I see it. Again, everything should have headings. Even within the body, there should be lots of headings to make it as easy as possible for people to find things. Table of contents, clear, this section is on this page. Definitely have to have research in here, so you should find either online sources that are credible or sources in from the COD database. They should be cited. You can use MLA, APA, Chicago style, anything that you're comfortable with. There is a lot of information that I've posted that's also on the COD library website. If you have any questions about any particular things, definitely let me know. But you can use any style that you're comfortable with. Let's see. Last thing is just to say, so formal reports, we're not going to, depending on your job, you may or may not write a lot of formal reports, but chances are you'll be involved with one at some point, even if you're not the only writer or the main writer. And it's just a good practice to go through the idea of understanding what gets involved in something It's gonna cost money. I mean, a lot of times that's kind of the thing, is that if you want someone to spend money on something, you really need to give them the backup and show that you've done the research and you've really thought the whole thing through and thought about all the different options and really come to a good conclusion. So a reason to change or reason to add or get rid of something. So it's a good practice just to kind of to go through the exercise, even if we aren't going to always write them on a consistent basis. Okay, I hope that helps. Remember that the actual report, final report, isn't due until Friday, but if you would like to do the optional peer review, that's on Wednesday. And so you're going to submit it on Wednesday to the discussion board. By Thursday, you need to have written your peer review back to somebody. Obviously, the sooner the better, so that they and you can make your changes. Don't give a peer review to somebody that already has one. Go find someone that doesn't have one. If everyone has one, then of course you can do a second one for somebody. If you submit your essay for a discussion board, then you absolutely need to give at least one peer review. I will give you up to 10 points depending on how detailed your feedback is, but if you submit and you don't give feedback, you don't get any points. Okay, long enough. Have a good week, and I promise to keep working on the grading. Thanks.